So this has recently happened when it comes to Bittensor. What am I talking about? Something called UMA recently introduced the UMA Composite Index as a new way to track the full universe of subnets on Bittensor. Now, nothing I say is financial advice. However, people like to say, who really cares about this? Well, in my opinion, probably not that many people because, again, the space isn't doing the best. So people like to say, oh, it's average at best. Well, okay, arguably. But here's the thing, at least there's still something going on sort of regarding Bittensor. And again, why would a update when it comes to something regarding a project that I'm a fan of be bad? I don't think so. I mean, sure, it's not the best thing of all time, but it's not bad. That's the way to take a look at it. So if this happens, I think this showcases that at least there's still some attention being put when it comes to Bittensor, right? At least there's still some people considering Bittensor because keep in mind, if we just ignore this example entirely, a lot of developers out there, they're completely just ignoring this space overall. Like a lot of them just don't want to enter. But I still see something like this, so I thought it was pretty cool that even there's still some consideration being put towards something like Bittensor. Keep in mind, TAO, Bittensor's native token, it's almost 17 times lower than 3,000. So again, it's not doing the best, but actually at the same time as well, the current market cap of TAO is around 1.8 billion, right? The thing is this, if TAO just went back to where it was back in November, I'm not saying it has to go back farther than that, right? I'm not saying that. Just going back to where it was back in November of 2025, the market cap at that point was 5 billion approximately. So we're over 2 times lower than that. That's the thing. It just has to go back to where it was back in November. And we're already, as of right now, over 2 times lower than that. That's the thing. Does anyone think that November was an altcoin season? I don't. And again, that just showcases how much TAO has had a pullback. So if TAO, for whatever reason, just went back there, again, we're over 2 times lower than that. So am I complaining about quote unquote low moments? The answer is no, because I'm looking to dollar cost average. That's the thing. Imagine if I dollar cost average here and it just went back to where it was in November of 2025. I'm just saying, but we'll wait and see. This is the way to take a look at it. Now, ultimately, though, people like to tell me, well, yeah, but Bittensor is a relevant project. Well, I just disagree with that, actually. I mean, okay, sure, it's not ranked the best, but it's number 37 in the world in terms of market cap when it comes to TAO within this space. And any project in the top 50, in my opinion, I just have a hard time seeing it be forgotten about like that, even if, let's say, the market does go lower. I just have a hard time believing that a lot of them are, if anything, just going to disappear off into the abyss like that. I just don't have that mindset or just randomly become irrelevant because these are very established projects, right? Sure, they're not micro caps that could do like these ridiculous numbers, but at the same time, they're established. So even though they might not move as much as a hypothetical microcap later on, but at least they're more a little bit established. There's more of that stable presence, right? So I just have a hard time believing that they're just going to be forgotten about if the market were to recover, but we'll wait and see. Because people like to tell me that this project that's ranked like 500th or like 891st or whatever is going to make it, but then suddenly like a top 50 project won't. Yeah, I just have a hard time believing that because if they could make it, why can't something that's top 50? But we'll wait and see. Keep in mind, Bittensor is one of the more established projects out there that's focused on AI and as well as machine learning. So when it comes to those sectors, it's kind of hard sometimes to break through, right? It's sometimes hard to gain that mainstream recognition. However, I do see that when it comes to Bittensor. So it's already kind of been through the hard part, right? It's already been through the phase of trying to get, well known and all this. But then now the hypothetical missing ingredient is probably a hypothetical altcoin season. But ultimately, this is a only time will tell type of scenario. Actually, if TAO were to go to 3,000, the market cap at that point would be around 32 billion, and that's if we consider the current circulating supply of TAO. Now, 32 billion at that market cap, like that's still around 50 billion less approximately than what Dogecoin reached at one point in terms of market cap back in 2021. So I don't know if this sounds so ridiculous to me, again, this figure, for arguably like one of the most popular projects out there that's focused on not only AI, but also machine learning. When it comes to Bittensor, people like to tell me, well, no one really cares about this project because they're not flashy. They don't have these random partnerships with like a celebrity or an athlete. Well, it's a bit of a different vibe, right? Other projects out there, they make it their entire goal and purpose to do that type of stuff. But when it comes to Bittensor, it's more serious, right? It's more focused on the fundamentals. It's more focused on kind of the adoption. It's more focused on stuff like that. So if I'm looking for something that's fun or interesting, which I also do believe in some memes, right? There is a place for that, but sometimes I feel like there's also a place for it here in terms of the more serious projects. But if I'm expecting like a fun or interesting vibe here, yeah, it's a bit different. That's probably not a place I would go to, right? If I'm looking for something fun or interesting, that's for like memes and stuff like that. This is a bit of a different case. However, when it comes to Bittensor, people like to tell me, well, no one's really going to care about this because there's so many other projects out there focused on AI. Well, yeah, there is a lot, but we have to consider again, TAO, it's ranked 37 in the world in terms of market cap within this space. So Bittensor is pretty established. It's not like it's a very small player. It's a pretty big player actually within this niche of AI, right? So why wouldn't arguably one of the most popular projects within that space randomly be forgotten about if there was a hypothetical altcoin season? Yeah, I just have a hard time thinking about that. Again, because I don't think that could hypothetically be the case, but we'll wait and see. Now, when it comes to Bittensor as well, my thing is that all I have to do right now is just wait, right? I mean, sure, people like to tell me, oh, isn't it nerve-wracking to wait? Well, again, what is the time limit, right? I could essentially hold TAO for the next 10 or 20 years. It may sound kind of like extreme, but you know, the thing is, what is the time limit, right? I'm not competing against anyone. This is not a competition. It's not like I have to leave in a couple months. No, I mean, it's just like my race, my pace. That's the way you take a look at it. I'm dollar cost averaging once a month, so no matter how long I'm gonna have to hold, I'll hold. That's my point of view. If I have to hold another 6 months, a year, 2 years, it's whatever, personally for me, because my mindset is, I can't control how long I'm gonna have to wait, but I've already waited for quite a while anyways. Not to mention, even if I leave, right, if I just exit, which I don't want to do, but I'm saying if I did that, I'm still gonna have to live my life regardless whether I'm in this space or not. That's the thing. So whether I'm holding or I'm not, I'm still gonna have to be living my life. So personally, I'd like to be holding as opposed to not. But again, I am not telling anyone to do anything. This is just kind of the way I take a look at it. So I don't feel any of this additional pressure or sort of like, stress by holding. I don't feel like that. Like I don't feel that way, I should say. Because I feel like I'm holding and then, I'm not really competing against anyone, right? It's not like I have to leave at a certain point. If that's the case, then yeah, I'd probably feel a lot more pressure because who knows, right? Maybe at that specific time frame it doesn't do well, then I have to leave. What happens, right? I don't want to do that. But there is no such thing like that. Like I don't have to leave at a certain point. I could just hold for a long time if I wanted to. So I feel like if I have to wait another year or something like that, I mean, we'll wait and see. But I'm saying, even if it's like 6 months, a year, it's like whatever. There's no time limit for me anyways. So I like to be holding. That's pretty much about it. I am dollar cost averaging once a month. I'm not doing any more, not doing any less. However, I am not telling anyone to do anything. This is just my personal mindset. But overall, I did see, I think some pretty average news, I think, when it comes to Bittensor recently regarding Yuma, which I already talked about earlier in the video. So yeah, thought it was pretty cool, so I wanted to talk about it, and I'll be sure to make more updated videos when it comes to Bittensor, and hopefully I'll see y'all there. It's Mali the Captain, and I'll see y'all in the next one, hopefully. I'm out. Peace. Bye.